Welcome back, everyone. CNN has been receiving videos from around the country of Egyptian Americans celebrating the end of Hosni Mubarak's 30-year regime, including rallies in New York, Washington, and right here in Atlanta. Their joy mirrors the euphoria that swept over Tahrir Square and elsewhere Friday when it was announced that Mubarak was no longer in power. Many of the revelers said they never thought it would happen in their lifetime. Well, getting Mubarak to quit may have been the easy part. Now comes the hard work of trying to create a democracy. And will this now spread to other countries in the region? With me now are Sami Abdelaziz, you're becoming a regular. He's a protester from Egypt, and he's been leading the protests here in Atlanta. And then Yasmin Jandali from Syria, and Ali Jibril from Libya. Thanks to all of you for joining us. Real quickly, thank you very much. We were talking when this happened. You know, before I get to that, how are you feeling? How are all of you feeling now?
Well, I'll start, and I know it will go from there. It's beautiful. I never felt as proud in my life. I think I'm proud as Egyptian, I'm proud as American, I'm proud as a human being.
Yasmin?
Exhilarated.
Exhilarated.
Absolutely. Just standing there in the living room watching CNN on TV and wishing with every fiber of my body that I was in Cairo, even though I'm not Egyptian, but for that moment we were all Egyptian.
Exactly.
And it just unbelievable, unbelievable.
Ali?
Same thing. You are going through the history, the making of history, watching history unfolding before your eyes, and you cannot think it's real, but it's real.
Okay.
It's amazing.
So we have Libya, Syria, and Egypt represented here.
Yes.
You're watching the situation happening in Algeria.
Yes.
Is this going to go beyond? Do you believe that? Is Egypt sort of a symbol to the nations in that country that there can be democracy?
There is no stopping. I believe I described it, that Egypt, the boiling in Egypt, have been brewing for 30 years. It was like being in a dark room looking for a door. Country like Tunisia showed Egypt the door. I think Egypt now showed the whole world the door, and it is going to continue.
So we said the easy part, although it was hard. Maybe I should have said the easier part may have been getting Hosni Mubarak to step down. The tough part is going to be establishing a democracy, Yasmin.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what happens here?
Well, that's up to the Egyptian people again to decide. It's really in their hands. They're going to have to work on their constitution and get it ready and prepare for general elections. And of course, that's a time-consuming process. It's not going to happen and should not happen overnight. Really, the hope is that people around the region will take this and run with it and see that they can live with the freedoms and the democracies that they deserve.
What is Libya? What are the people of Libya, and as you speak to people back home,
yes,
what are they learning from Egypt, Ali?
They are watching the events second by second, and as everybody else. And I am sure there will be implication. There will be some effect. Not necessarily a regime change the way we saw it in Tunisia.
Why don't you believe that can happen in Libya?
You cannot just copycat everything happen everywhere. But I'm sure, definitely sure that there will be implication, there will be changes, there will be deep impact in the psyche of the people, and their feelings, and their getting back their confidence, believing in themselves, as they've seen people doing the changing regime, and may also affect the regime itself and rethink about the way it does things. Maybe they have to change it themselves.
Maybe now protesting, there will be peaceful protests. You know, I read something today that said that the protests there in Egypt were in part inspired by the civil rights movement and Dr. King and watching the nonviolent protests. And, you know, I had been saying that on radio all during the protests. And people said, why are you saying that, Don? I said, well, this is Egypt's sort of civil rights movement. Do you agree with that?
Totally. It's a beautiful example. This is where really we're saying that there's no stopping. There's no going back.
But let me ask you, do you think that the people of Libya, Syria, Lebanon, all over Algeria, are they going to be supportive, and will that help Egypt establish a democracy? Are they going to be supportive of what's going on?
I have no doubt in that, because people are very inspired about it. They're very compassionate about it. They see it as, remember, Egypt is the soul and the heart of the Arab world. And we are educated by the Egyptians. We saw movies made by Egyptians. We saw everything good in life made by Egyptians in Egypt in the early days.
Yeah.
And people will remember always that this is the heart and the soul of the region.
So Ali, I want to ask the lady, how old are you?
I am 53.
How old are you?
51.
51. I want to ask you your age, but in your lifetime, did you ever think that you would see something like this
No.
in Egypt or in the Arab world?
No, we dreamed about it, and sometimes the lines between dream and reality disappear, but I don't think we ever thought it would happen.
Yeah.
No, and I am a younger generation than these two gentlemen, but even my generation, I don't think we really ever expected this or believed we would see it. I think, unfortunately, we were just resigned to the idea that these guys would be around for another 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And it's good that we were proven wrong.
Yasmin
It took us by surprise. Took us by surprise like everybody else.
Ali.
Yes.
and Sameh, thank you.
Thank you very
This guy
much.
has a crazy sense of humor. He's really practical.
Thank
It was
you very
such a
much.
pleasure and an honor
Same
to
here.
get to meet all of you, and I hope we get to see each other more, not just here, but outside as well.
Absolutely.
All right?
Thank you
Thank you
very
so much. Thank you so